Welcome to the Sweet Tooth Way. I know you've not heard my voice in a while, but guess what? This is where I believe in starting with what you have. Today's design is going to be for a male, and his wife requested something that had like a car theme to it, of which this person drives a Mark X. So I decided to do a really nice stencil to the top tier using this diamond print that sort of resembles like a tire print. For some reason I felt like it looked like a tire print, so I decided to use this stencil in particular. With stenciling, you want to make sure that your cake is extremely chilled. I typically chill my cake for at least 3 hours before I apply any form of stencil to it, and this is in the refrigerator and not the freezer. You also want to make sure that you're going to work as quick as possible. You want to work really quickly, especially depending on the temperature that your room is at. You don't want your cake to start, the buttercream to start softening up, and then your stencil, the print is going to be extremely messy. So to avoid that, I always say make sure the cake is chilled at least 3 hours and make sure to work quick. The next tip here is to make sure that you have all the tools that you'll need. In this case, I have my pins, I have my small offset spatula, and also on the side I do have a cloth in the event that I will need it. But make sure that you have all your tools beside you nice and handy, and as mentioned before, work as quick as possible. And the next thing is that when you're working with stenciling, right, the goal is always to get it done right the first time, but it does takes practice before you start to reach that level of perfection. Like here, I'm now going to be using my scraper to remove the excess buttercream, and I might do this once or twice, and every stencil varies because you want to make sure there's enough buttercream to actually leave a print on there, because sometimes your girl end up scraping off too much and I'm like, what the heck did I do? But this is from learning and experiencing. So removing the pins, and as you can see, this stencil just jumped right off. Personally, I really don't like when a stencil does that. I prefer when I am the person who removes it. So this stencil in particular, to be quite honest, is not my most favorite to work with for that very same reason. So with everything that I did, I'm just going to go ahead and repeat it with a little more vibe. I do have some music playing in my background, so I was having a great time while making this cake, and this is just how I work best. And I encourage you as well to make sure that you work in whatever way that brings out the best in you. If you want to listen to your music, go ahead. If you work better when you have quiet, go ahead. But just do what works for you. This is your time to just enjoy yourself, to create, get paid for creating. So you definitely got to make sure that you're, enjoying yourself. So every cake, especially two-tiered cakes, every two-tiered cakes, three-tiered cakes, four-tiered cakes needs good stability. Do not skip this step. I'm using a painter's rod, and it's wooden, and I fancy that these do offer a bit more support than the plastic dowels. This is just my preference, and I'm just measuring out the length that I'll need, and then I'll go ahead and cut 4 of them to make sure that I have enough to place in the center, in the circumference of the circle that I do actually have on this bottom tier, so I know exactly where to put my painter's rod. What I did is use the 6-inch cake board that I have and create an outline on this 10-inch cake bottom tier, so I know exactly where to place my dowels. So when you see me placing these dowels, you know that there's a mapped out section there that I know I am not to put the dowels outside of. If you are a beginner here, welcome. You're in the perfect space. Trust me, I remember starting out as a beginner, and everything that you see me doing now has been through watching videos and trial and error. So in anything that you see me sharing, it's methods that I've been using for a while now, and I've found to be very successful. So for my top tier, which is a 6-inch cake, I am taking the same size board of the cake, and this is how I find the center of my cake. Whenever I'm stacking a cake, this has been the best method for me. I've tried many other ways, but this one has worked for me. So let me tell you, I'm putting you on game here. This is the very best way to stack your cakes. Now, the first time was a bit like, but since then, it's been the best way for me to get my tiered cake stacked with the least bit of effort. And you see how I'm able to move the cake around on the top tier, even if it's not positioned properly. I was able to shift it really easily just because of that rod being there. Once I've finished put the top tier on, I just push that rod down, as you can see in the video, and it secures the entire cake. So no slippy slidey. Guess what? It's drip time. I love me a drip cake, no matter what. I feel like drips belong on pretty much any cake. But I'm using the Roxy Rich branded chocolate drip. This is not sponsored in any way by them, but I've been using this product for the past 5 years and I swear by it. It's super, super, super easy to use. It creates a flawless finish and I absolutely love how it just takes for me to just heat this bottle up for 30 seconds, give it a good shake, and I can then just apply a really good drip. So check it out. Now, cake ball toppers by my brand here at Sweet Tooth. I'm going to add some of these to the cake and give this cake another amazing detail. So stick around, and if you haven't already, like this video and also subscribe so you can see many other cake designs, many other methods that you can create. Even if you're a beginner, professional, this is where you need to be when you want to learn. If you can't believe that this cake design is real, let me tell you, it definitely is. It definitely is. And you are able to do this as well. With these simple steps that you see me taking, once you do the same, I guarantee you, you will be able to make some amazing cake designs. So thank you so much for watching this video so far. I really appreciate it. Please remember to like and subscribe. It is so much of a huge encouragement to keep creating and sharing. And let me tell you, if you ever need a cake design, come on over here to my channel. There's definitely something here for pretty much every occasion. Thank you so much for continuously growing with me, supporting me, liking this video, and once again also subscribing. So as we're coming to an end of this cake design, I am so excited to present the final thing to you. This custom made topper was made by Creations by Anne. I always work with her so that she can also get a piece of the business. Instead of making fondant pieces, I typically collab with her to get custom made toppers done. So tell me, isn't this an amazing cake design already? Remember, like and subscribe and let me know how much you love this cake design.